GPO on mobile. A lot of people say that it is impossible to be created, but I am here today to explain why it is possible and why it might be coming. Recently we have got information that GPO might probably will go free on update 5. So is it too far-fetched to assume that GPO will go mobile as well? Maybe not, as we have had multiple cases of footage. We have multiple footages of GPO mobile, an actual test version where GPO actually had its mobile version, except it never released because you couldn't really, it wasn't polished and it wasn't fully developed before it got released, so it never got released, even though they already have been working on a GPO mobile. So the argument a lot of people use when people say that there won't be a GPO mobile is they say the graphics are too high, you can't, your phone will basically explode if you use it, or any mobile will explode if you use the GPO. But realistically, there are a bunch of more graphically advanced games on Roblox that don't allow the game to be played and with a pretty nice frames per second. And the reason for this is, okay, sure, let's say that idea that GPO is super high graphics and that it might explode the phone. Let's just entertain that idea. So let's continue. What the developers could do then is they could add a natural mode that automatically gets put on, which is a low graphics mode. Automatically, as soon as you get in the game with the mobile, you get automatic, every material gets turned off and your graphic is reduced to 1, allowing you to basically play the game in a, let's say, not as pretty but at least a functional state. And that will allow mobile players not only to play the game without too much lag, and also depends on your phone, by the way, and etc. Also, the second argument they usually use is that how are you gonna play, because it has so many controls. Then my counter argument is Blox Fruits. If you look at Blox Fruits, and Blox Fruits and GPO are basically almost identical, except Blox Fruit has better graphics, I'd say. No, I mean the opposite. GPO has better graphics and Blox Fruit has worse. But in general, the same keybinds and the same movesets and stuff like that are very, very similar between Blox Fruits and Grand Peace Online, because the Fuyu used to develop for Blox Fruits. So just understand that. So here's a video where a person is playing PvP, ranked PvP on Blox Fruit on his phone. Now you might call this guy a sweat, but it is possible, and it's basically, you can expect the same amount because he's using moves here that are very similar, or basically keybind, and it's like up, and you can just click the moves up there, as you can see him doing it right here. And so the idea that GPO mobile players won't be able to play and blah blah blah, this is just a bunch of assumptions made, even though Blox Fruit exists and they can just look at Blox Fruit, because what is the direct comparison between GPO? What's the closest thing to GPO, which would be Blox Fruit, because they both are pretty identical. So why would it be possible for Blox Fruits to have one but GPO not have one, except if they are identical, and the only difference is the graphics, really, let's be honest. And the idea here is that some people just don't like to look at it this way, probably for some weird reason. I don't know why they don't want GPO to go on mobile. It will allow for more players, and in general it will allow for a better experience for a lot of people. It will allow more people to play, people that don't have computers or laptops or whatever. And it will allow, because if you really know, if his statistics is like something like a big majority of Roblox users are on mobile. So if you don't have mobile on GPO, you're excluding this big majority from the player count, and the developers should just be losing out on a bunch of money, a bunch of players, and a bunch of engagement in general. So realistically, from their standpoint, it makes zero sense for them not to add a mobile, which they have tested. And them making this test of GPO mobile is just evidence that they are intending to make one. Otherwise, why will they not do one? So the question becomes, when is the GPO mobile releasing? Well, I can't really say, as we haven't had any indication of GPO mobile ever since then, but since GPO is going free, on update 5. We could only assume that maybe it could be coming update 6, as they just need time to basically release the game for free, see how it looks, and then maybe update 6, update 7, they're gonna eventually add mobile version, and that would mean a higher play count, which would mean the free players will come in, the mobile players will come in and increase the game, inflate the player count, and make a lot of GPO a lot more accessible. But I'm gonna talk too long. I can't really say when, guys, but we just have to wait. We'll get updates eventually, I guess. For now, all we have to be hyped for is GPO going free, and then comes the question of GPO going on mobile. Realistically, that's all I really had to say. Check out my video I made on mortuary rework, and peace.